My name is Jokes. I'm a film director, an editor, and a writer. I started out in Miami, Florida. I've gotten a chance to work pretty much all over the country. I started doing stuff in film when I was like 15 years old. And basically at that time I was really more of like a writer and an actor in like a bunch of short films that me and a group of friends of mine that I went to school with, like that we all did. And that was like before YouTube, before like that was when you had to like shoot the camera, like shoot to edit on the camera. And I mean, I think actually I started when I was like 13. Actually, wasn't even. I think when we finished like doing all the things we did, we were like 15, almost 16 years old, and and we never was thinking about Hollywood. We never was thinking about like, oh, we're gonna make it in the film business. We just did it like to just creatively express ourselves, and and then I stopped doing that for a while, and I got more into like doing the visual art stuff that I do, and doing music and doing all kinds of other like arts. And then it was a few years later down the line that I kind of like fell back into film really by starting to write screenplays, and then eventually leading up into going to film school and then becoming a director and a producer, a writer, and all the other positions that I've done. The only thing that I really, I mean, I enjoyed going to film school. There was fun and everything like that, and like it was good because it disciplined me to like sit down and create a project and like to create that kind of structure to do what I had to do. But I didn't even go to like a big film school. I went to Miami-Dade Community College, which actually do have a kind of a good program, but like it wasn't expensive or anything. And my mission really originally was that I wanted to go to NYU or USC, one of these big film schools. Like that was like my mission that I like decided to go on at one point in my life. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go on this mission. I'm gonna go to like the best film school in the country, and that's what I'm gonna do because that's how I'm gonna be able to excel. And after I did the first 2 years of community college, I ended up dropping out mainly because of the fact that what I was learning, once I had the fundamentals that I learned in school, like I went on my own and kept learning and learning and learning and learning on my own by having a thirst for knowledge. And like at one point realizing that I didn't really need the school anymore to discipline me to keep learning my craft and to keep learning what I wanted to do. And so, I mean, what I would say is, definitely take a class to learn what you have to get to, but it doesn't mean, especially like in film, like that piece of paper is not really worth anything. What's going to be worth anything is the reel that you put together. Because I don't care if you went to NYU or if you went to, USC, or you went to like, a film school at some film workshop that's in the corner of some supermarket. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make a difference where you go. It's just where you can take those fundamentals and like grow upon them and learn what's going on anyway. And at the end of the day, with the film game, as far as the technical stuff, like it changes every goddamn day. I'm learning every day something new on these programs and with these cameras and with everything that's coming out. So it's like you have to have that thirst for knowledge if you even expect to get anywhere in some kind of a media. So ever since I was like a little kid, like I always created art. Like I was creating art before I could even talk. Like my mother has like drawings and stuff that I would do before I could even talk. And like, and they're like cohesive drawings. Like you can kind of tell there's something going on, and it's not even like it's just a bunch of scribbles or like it's something real abstract. And it's like, there's a lot of detail inside of stuff. A 1-year-old, 2-year-old kid is like drawing pictures of people and like trying to put names to them and trying to do stuff. So like for me, like creating something has been something I've always done. I never like stopped creating. Like I've never had a point in my life where I was like, oh, I'm not creating anything anymore. Like it's something that like it's almost like an obsessive thing that I have to do. Like even if I was like not, if I was financially well off and all I had to do in my life was basically sit around in a house, and I would be making stuff out of stuff. I'd be turning the refrigerator into a piece of art, painting all over it, and putting some kind of picture on it to like make it look a certain way. I would never stop doing that. So like for me to like translate to go into film and use film like to what I create with, the reason I fell in love with film is because it incorporates so many of all the different arts into it. Like, you know, in film you can have drawing, you can have painting, you can have photography, you can have music, you can have, you know, acting, you can have writing, you have all those elements, you have audio, you have, you know, computer graphics, Photoshop, everything. Any kind of art that's out there can be incorporated into a film. So like for me, that's like the ultimate high to mess with. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that's gonna like, you know, has elements of everything in it. And it's all made to like create an experience for a viewer. And I like that. That's, you know, that's what draws me in. That's what attracts me to it. The first thing I would tell anybody is basically like, if you have a skill or a talent for it, you really believe that you could do it, like pick up a camera and just start putting stuff together. And when you get the confidence in your skill set, after, you know, picking up a camera, and if you can, you do it all yourself. You do every part of it yourself, and learn to be able to tell a story. You know, that's the biggest thing. Is like, that's my perspective on it. You have to really know how to tell stories. I think people forget about that a lot. You know, people pick up cameras, they shoot a bunch of stuff, but like at the end of the day, like it's really important. The reason those media matters is the message that it brings, because you can do the same story a million times and do it different every single time, because it's all about your perspective and the way you see the world and the way that like you're putting it together. So, I mean, I would tell people like, you know, make the stuff because you want to make the stuff, and if you do good quality work, people will be drawn to it. If you do stuff that like has merit, people will be drawn to it. You know, and you will be successful in your own way and by your own means. Not, you know, like, oh, because some guy put up a bunch of money, you were able to go do that. Well, you know, a lot of people can go do that. You know, but can you make it based on your artistic merit, what you could really bring to the table? You better love it, because it ain't glamorous and ain't a lot of money, and you're gonna sacrifice a lot before you see any kind of real rewards. You're gonna sacrifice a lot. That's really what it boils down to. You better love it. I remember somebody told me one time they were like, oh man, I wish I had your job. And because they saw me like on production, on like when I was directing. Like, man, your job's awesome. I wish I had your job. And I was like, you ain't really seeing me work. I did all the work before. I'm doing all the work before, and I'm doing all the work after. Like when we on set, we just rolling through everything that we planned out to do. Like all the work's already kind of like, now we just photographing everything. We just seeing like one stage of the whole entire process. So, but at the end of the day, you just gotta love it. If you don't love it, like you're not. I really can't see somebody who hates doing this like sticking around doing it, because you're gonna deal with a lot of shit. You're gonna deal with a lot of shit. Like from when I got into the game to like now, I think it's different, because when I got into it, there was no such thing as like a YouTube, or there was no such thing as like, you know, like seeing video online or any of that kind of stuff like that. That really wasn't like even, like that wasn't even happening yet. So me personally, I would definitely tell somebody, especially if they're young and they have like their parents like paying for them to live and all that kind of stuff like that, and if they can get access to equipment, and make your own stuff, put it online, and make it hot, and you'll get, and you know, start from then. I know when I was a kid, I wish we would have had that outlet. You know what I mean? Like something like that could like literally like touch people around the world. Like it's right there in front of your face. All you have to do is just make it, and people will see it if it's good. It will be seen. You know what I mean? So if I were to tell anybody, just make your own stuff and put it out there and let people see it.
So I make my move when the time's right. I made mistakes in the past, hindsight. but the truth of the matter is you're my type. Yo, so can we get it on and pop? Like honey bottles bubbly sitting on the rocks. You make a bitch get ghetto real hype. Off center, off balance, yo, it feels like. Yo, I'm losing my cool, so bring me back, baby. Just bring me back, baby. Yo, I'm losing my cool, just bring me back, baby. Just bring me back, baby. Yo, I think that you the one,
Are you the one for me? Yeah. Are you the one for me? Yeah. Are you the one for me? Yeah. Are you the one for me?
Baby, you got me on a TLC tip like crazy. I wanna feel you in my arms all day. I work your ass for 12 hours, no pay. Cause you the best I ever had like Drake. I be like little mama about to jump on stage, interrupted. Cause your thug shit got me fiending for your chocolate factory. Charlie Bucket got my thoughts all twisted up and sideways. The only reason pushing 110 on highways, anticipating walking up on that high rise. Building overlooking the whole MIA skyline. You the only one keeping me up past 3 o'clock. You my doc, so prescribe me some pot, so we can smoke herb till both our lungs rot. We can hit it for a little so we can hit a lot. Ha! So with all that on my mind, guess I'm on another grind. So maybe I should get back at another date and time, just for fun, hun. Hey yo, you could be the one,
Are you the one?